Tonight on CTV News at 8, see what event one fraternity hosted to help those who serve our nation. Plus, see how CSU is helping man's best friend stay healthy. And we all scream for ice cream. All this coming up on CTV News. Thank you for watching CTV. I'm Caitlin Conley.
And I'm Sierra Symes, filling in for Carson Bush-Jost this evening. A military-style obstacle course was set up by Kappa Sigma Fraternity Sunday to help raise money for the Fisher House, an organization that helps our injured heroes and their families. I was at the event Sunday to report on the fun. Greek fraternity Kappa Sigma ran a military-style boot camp with everything from an army crawl to a bouncy castle to help raise funds to feed and give shelter to injured military and their families through the Fisher House.
When you have fundraisers like this, it helps to underwrite that cost so they never have to worry about where their meal is coming from or where they're going to stay.
College students teamed up in groups of 5 with all proceeds going to the Fisher House.
They always have a fun day out here, and some of it reminds me of some of the boot camp that I went through.
It's been a very mutually beneficial. As you met earlier, you met Melanie, and she came and talked for a little bit, and it's just great to always have people around that are involved and have done so much for our country, and we just love having them around, and we love benefiting the soldiers, and can't really think of a more noble cause than that.
Marks the 25th anniversary of the Fisher House and its 5th year working with Kappa Sigma Fraternity.
Dogs have always been man's best friend, and Colorado State is doing everything it can to help those furry companions stay healthy and well. The Flint Animal Cancer Center at CSU has just enrolled 3,000 canines in its Golden Retriever Lifetime Health Study. Unfortunately, Golden Retrievers have a high frequency of developing cancer. The landmark study will not only focus on cancer in dogs, but many other risk factors that canines get throughout their lifetime. $25 million in funding comes from the Morris Animal Foundation in Denver, the largest animal health funding research agency in the country.
We will follow each of these 3,000 dogs now over the course of their lifetime, so this is really going to be a 10 to 15-year study. By 10 years in, we will have reached most of our scientific goals, but there's still a lot of information to gather, and it ends up being quite an expensive proposition.
On Monday night, the author of over 8 books and the star of a semi-biographical HBO documentary spoke in the Laurie Student Center about autism. Temple Grandin spoke as part of the President's Community Lecture Series. Her lecture comes in time for National Autism Awareness Month. Grandin discussed different ways of thinking and how they can be used to solve problems, especially with autistic students. According to Grandin, many who face learning disabilities can grow to be successful by being exposed to new opportunities. Also last night, CSU students, faculty, alumni, and family members gathered to remember members of CSU's community that died this past academic year. The brief ceremony included reading the names of those who died as well as an opportunity for silent reflections. CSU counselor Susan McQuitty shared why Rams Remembering Rams was so important.
We just think that it's really important that we gather together at least once a year as a community to remember all of the people that we have lost during the past year. Each of them has made so many important contributions to the university, whether they were here for just a short time as a student or whether they are a long-standing faculty or staff member.
2 CSU students have started their own fashion line called Local Athletics here on campus. You may have seen these shirts, hats, or bracelets, especially in the gym. Local Athletics is a new clothing line owned and operated by 2 of our very own CSU students. Their brand hit the market on March 2nd and since has been continuing to expand their name. They started their company by giving out 30 free shirts, encouraging students to take pictures and use the hashtag Local Athletics in order to get their names out.
We wanted to have friends, because everyone wants to have friends, so we were like, what's the best way to meet new people? And we were like, let's just start a brand, let's just start something. So Local was just born on March 2nd, and we ran with it.
Their brand consists of both men and women's tanks, as well as hats and bracelets. Recently, they got the opportunity to go to an online retail store in both Utah and Seattle, Washington in order to sell their products.
You know, business has been great. We've met a lot of new people. And it's not really all about the money for us. Like, we've done okay for ourselves, but it's more about the social capital, if you will. So
they chose the name Local in order to have a community aspect to their clothing, ensuring their continuation of meeting new people and making new friends.
To make everyone feel local and like a community.
Their line already has a website and is starting their lookbook to promote and expand their company, as well as asking students to promote the line on social media.
Coming up after the break, Elizabeth Prasse will be with us for her forecast.
Plus, Double the Trouble is back for sports tonight. Stay tuned.
Oh, hey there, Rams. Today is a great day to play in the LSC. So let's take a look at our ballrooms, theater, and art galleries. The LSC ballrooms, which are the busiest venue in northern Colorado, have been recently renovated. The Laurie Student Center Theater can be transformed to feature films, concerts, lectures, entertainment, and banquets. And last but not least, the Kerfman Gallery provides a showcase for the creations of local and student artists.
Back, Rams, I'm weather anchor Elizabeth Prasse with your latest weather update. Today was a little windy, but still a very nice Tuesday. I overheard one student saying there's not a cloud in the sky, but unfortunately that will not be the case for very much longer. Taking a look outside, this is the calm before the storm. Now currently here in Fort Collins, it is 61 degrees and we do have winds coming out of the south-southeast. With those gusts, we will feel more like 59 degrees right now with those partly cloudy skies. Taking a look at our map for tonight, we can see that temperatures are going to be around average for this time of year. 31 in Alamosa, 40 degrees in Pueblo, 39 Colorado Springs, and 37 degrees in Lamar for this evening. Taking a look at our evening planner, we can see that while it's 61 right now, we're going to get down to 50 degrees by midnight, and that is thanks to these clouds and those strong winds carrying us through those overnight hours. Now for tomorrow. That is when we're going to see temperatures plunge because we have a low pressure system moving through tomorrow. You can see it's moving through the north as we have 34 only in Vail tomorrow afternoon, but then 54 degrees in Denver, 61 in Lyman, and 59 degrees in Sterling. Now, let's take a look and see where exactly this low pressure system is. As you can see, it's right here, and this is that trough that I've been talking about the last few weeks. It's going to bring us a cooler and wetter April, and that's what we're going to see this week. Now, this low pressure system is stronger than what we saw last week, and that will give us a better chance for moisture. The question will not be, will we get moisture, but how much and where exactly. So let's take a look at that Wednesday planner. Clouds as we start out the day, but as the day progresses, as the system moves in, that's when we're going to see this chance of precipitation. Now the question is rain or snow. Rain here in the foothills with snow in the mountains, but we will see a slight chance for snow to mix in just depending on those surface temperatures because it is harder for snow to form with those surface temperatures being warmer in April, but getting to 50 degrees by tomorrow afternoon, still around average for this time of year. Taking a look at that satellite, we can see this is the system that we're talking about that's going to be moving down south. And the question is, how fast and how slow is it going to move? Because that will tell us how much moisture we will get. The slower it moves, the more moisture we will get, which we desperately need because we have been so dry and we have those high winds and wildfire warnings this past weekend. Now, taking a look at the 7-day forecast, we can see that we do have this chance of rain and snow the next couple of days, and I kept it in even through Saturday and Sunday. It's only a small chance Saturday and Sunday, though, because I think the system is going to move through rather slowly and then clear up a little bit more Saturday and Sunday, and we're going to see temperatures in those upper 50s, still relatively nice, and I'm going to be optimistic and say we really need this rain because April showers will make sure we do not have wildfires later on this summer. Now, Grace, I'm wearing my green jacket tonight in honor of the Masters this past weekend, but tell me what is happening in the world of Ram sports.
Thanks, Liz. Speaking of green, make sure to check out CTV on YouTube and click that sports tab to get Keith, Pat, and Travis's coverage of the green and gold scrimmage on Saturday. Last weekend, Rachel Vigil and I got the opportunity to go to the Broncos headquarters for the Rams' second scrimmage of the preseason. We were especially looking at quarterbacks. Rachel, what did you see there?
I saw that Nick Stevens threw a lot of short passes, but he was also playing against a first-string defense, and he was in front of a crowd. A lot of people showed up to Dove Valley, so I think that kind of impacted his game. But Coleman Key threw a lot of long balls. He was against the second-string defense, but he definitely made an impression on me.
Yeah, I was impressed with Key as well. He threw for 298 yards. This just shows you how much depth there is at this position. Nick Stevens has more experience in the pocket, but I was still impressed by both quarterbacks.
Yeah, and I'm definitely interested to see how they both look on Saturday again at the scrimmage. Hopefully they switch up the playbook a little bit, but I'm looking forward to it.
We were also looking at wide receivers. What did you see as far as that position goes?
Well, both quarterbacks did throw an interception, but Nick Stevens had 2 touchdowns and Coleman Key had 1 touchdown. But he threw it to Cole Anderson, which is a new name to Ram football. But he's a big guy, he's 6'4", 195 pounds, and he's definitely powering through that offense.
Yeah, someone that I wanted to focus on was Deontay Gaines, just because he's so young. He was impressive to me. Last season, he was a kick returner and a receiver. He had 9 catches for 69 yards, so I just think there's a lot of depth at this position as well. And they obviously have a good teacher in Rashard Higgins.
Rashard Higgins definitely is a big person for Ram football. I mean, he catches over 90% of balls that are thrown at him, and he's honestly a very talented wide receiver.
Absolutely.
And we've been talking a lot about the offense, but we can't ignore the defense. Grace, what were you looking at there?
Yeah, I was looking at Trenton Matthews a lot. He's a returning redshirt senior, and so I definitely was expecting a lot from him. He had 1 interception in the red zone. That's not something to overlook. If you remember the last season against Boise, he caught an interception in the end zone, and so that's something that can change the momentum of a game. I was certainly looking at that.
No, yeah, and he had 3 interceptions last season as well.
Yeah, he tied for the most interceptions last season, so that's certainly something that can't be overlooked.
No, yeah, it definitely adds to our Ram football team, so I can't complain.
Being able to meet the athletes for next season was really exciting. Speaking of meeting athletes, Wednesday night the Rams hosted their 19th annual Ram Jam. This gives more than 1,000 kids the opportunity to meet with athletes, get autographs, meet Cam the Ram, and play interactive games such as catching for the women's softball team, learning to swing a tennis racket, and shoot a basketball. They were also given the opportunity to meet several coaches. Larry Eustace showed up, Tom Hilbert showed up, John Messick, the tennis coach, made an appearance, and Mike Bobo showed up as well. This is a great way to host a free event for kids in the Fort Collins community. That's all Rachel and I have in the Sports Center today.
And Sierra and Caitlin will be back after the break.
Everyone loves ice cream, but free ice cream is even better. Today was Free Cone Day at Ben & Jerry's, and as you could guess, the line was out the door. From noon to 8, you could get a free cone with no strings attached. Donations and tips benefited the National Alliance on Mental Illness and Spirit Crossing Clubhouse, an organization that supports adults with mental illness. The national event was to show the appreciation of all the company's customers.
Well, since we were all here for the show tonight and didn't get a chance to go for ice cream and support a good cause, our producer bought us ice cream so we could have our own Ben & Jerry's party at the studio.
So what kind of ice cream do we have in our cones, guys?
Not sure, but it's delicious.
It's kind of dripping all over me,
Yeah,
but I'll still take it. It's free
Okay.
ice cream. I went with a simple chocolate. Anyone else? All right. Well, that's all the time we have this evening, but thank you for watching.
And we only have 3 weeks left of shows this semester, so be sure and watch them on Channel 11 and on thecollegian.com.
We also want to say a huge thank you to all our amazing crew who you don't see every night. We could not do without you, and we appreciate everything that you guys do. Thank you, and have a good night, everyone.